The bus driver, who waited it was a bitterly cold morning in Winnipeg, Canada, the kind of morning where the air itself seemed to freeze mid-breath. The streets were slick with ice, the sky pale gray, and snow flurries danced like feathers in the wind. Inside the number 32 bus, the heater hummed softly, providing a cocoon of warmth against the biting chill outside. At the wheel sat Kris, a middle-aged bus driver with kind eyes and a thick wool hat pulled down low. He'd been driving the same route for nearly 15 years. He knew the stops, the regular passengers, and even their moods by the way they stepped onto his bus. That morning he was running a few minutes behind. Nothing serious, but enough to make him tighten his grip on the wheel. People depended on the schedule, after all. Still, as he approached the next stop, something caught his eye. An elderly man, hunched and trembling, stood near the bench. His coat was thin, his hands shaking as he tried to bend down, struggling with something near his feet. The man's shoelaces had come undone and were dragging in the slush, soaking up the freezing meltwater. Kris could have driven on. Many drivers might have, given the snow, the schedule, and the long line of impatient passengers. But something in him wouldn't allow it. Without a second thought, he double-parked the bus, switched on the hazard lights, and stood up. "Hold on just a moment, folks," he said to the passengers. "I'll be right back." Confused murmurs rippled through the bus as he stepped out into the cold. The wind immediately stung his cheeks, but he ignored it. He walked toward the man, who looked up, startled. "Sir, are you all right?" Kris asked, his voice gentle. "Oh, I'm fine," the man stammered, embarrassed. "Just these old fingers. Can't seem to tie the darn things anymore." Kris knelt down on the icy sidewalk without hesitation. His knees hit the frozen concrete, but he didn't care. With steady hands, he tied the man's shoelaces, double knotting them carefully to make sure they wouldn't come undone again. "There we go," he said with a smile. "All set." The old man looked down at him, eyes glistening. "You didn't have to do that, son." "I know," Kris replied softly, "but I wanted to." He helped the man to his feet and guided him back toward the bus, one arm gently supporting his elbow. When they climbed aboard, a hush filled the space, then suddenly applause broke out. The passengers, who had been watching the entire scene through the frosted windows, clapped and smiled. A few even wiped away tears. Kris felt his face flush as he returned to his seat. "All right, everyone," he said, a little bashful. "Let's get back on the road." As the bus rolled forward, the elderly man sat near the front, glancing out at the snowy streets. After a moment, he said quietly, "You're a good man, driver. The world needs more like you." Kris just smiled at the road ahead. "We all just do what we can," he replied. And for the rest of that route, the bus seemed a little warmer, the ride a little smoother, and every passenger carried with them a small reminder. Sometimes kindness doesn't need to be grand, it just needs to be given.